The man's feet were just chained up. The next second, the thug threw him into the sea. Under the immense gravity of the anchor, the man was instantly pulled off the boat. Fortunately, in the critical moment, he managed to steal the thug's handgun and firmly held onto the stern to keep himself from falling. The thug saw this and quickly raised his foot to kick him off, but the man shot him in the foot. Seeing the situation go south, the teammate rushed to the cockpit. Without hesitation, he pressed the switch and started the engine, trying to force Hunter into the deep sea, though he held onto the railing with all his might. As the yacht sped up, the force he had to endure grew stronger. In the end, he couldn't hold on any longer. The 100-kilogram anchor sank straight to the bottom of the sea. Fortunately, this part of the sea wasn't very deep, but he had to find a way to surface within 2 minutes. Otherwise, he would be buried at the bottom. Hunter quickly tried to unlock the chain, but after several attempts, he realized he couldn't get it open. At that moment, Hunter suddenly thought of something. He looked around, and finally saw the handgun that had fallen nearby. Then Hunter quickly pulled the anchor close to him. Using the buoyancy of the water, he jumped toward the handgun. Though it was slow, he had no other choice. That handgun was his only hope of escape. By this time, Hunter's lungs were nearing their limit, but luckily, he had reached the handgun. Without thinking, he immediately grabbed the handgun off the ground, then quickly spread his legs, and squinted his eyes underwater to aim. Once he confirmed his position, he nervously closed his eyes and silently prayed for himself. Chain on his foot. Fortunately, in the nick of time, he successfully broke the lock on the foot chain. Then, using his last bit of energy, he struggled to swim to the surface. By now, Hunter was almost out of strength. Luckily, he saw a foam board in the distance. To survive, he had no choice but to swim toward it. Once he successfully hugged the foam board, Hunter floated on the water to regain his strength. At this point, the man was already starving and thirsty, but fortunately, a yacht was coming from afar. He desperately waved his hands for help, but the energetic young man on the yacht not only ignored him, he even started laughing at Hunter. He even pulled out a camera to record Hunter's embarrassing situation. Seeing this, Hunter hurriedly signaled that he was thirsty. The young man, being kind, tossed him a can of cola. Watching him drink the cola and show his awkwardness, the group finally decided to pull him onto the yacht. But why was Hunter thrown into the sea in the first place? It turns out Hunter was a treasure hunter. 3 days ago, he came here for an underwater treasure hunt. After some effort, he retrieved a shard from the seabed. Looking at the ancient shard in front of him, the man was ecstatic. He quickly took it to the local gang to sell, and guessed that there must be more treasures in that sea area. But the gang leader, upon seeing it, thought Hunter was scamming for investment. Not only did he not believe him, but he also had his men throw him into the sea to feed the fish, and Hunter almost died because of this. Luckily, he was rescued by a group of energetic young men. Once on shore, he immediately decided to take his girlfriend and treasure hunt on his own. But just as they arrived near the Treasure Sea Area's island, the gang leader suddenly appeared. It turned out he had planned to kill Hunter and silence him, then take the treasure for himself. But the island was too big. After searching for 3 days, he couldn't find any clues. With no choice, he had to make Hunter lead the way. Soon they reached a cave near the sea. The group immediately forced Hunter and his girlfriend to go in and check. To their surprise, this was indeed the hiding place of the treasure. Hunter, seeing this, wanted to leave with his girlfriend, but at that moment, the gang leader's men had also dived underwater. Not wanting the treasure to fall into their hands, Hunter decided to fight back. He instantly began to wrestle with the gang leader's men. At the crucial moment, his girlfriend even used a knife to kill one of the thugs. But just then, another thug had already retrieved a box of treasure. Opening it, they found it was filled with gold, silver, and jewelry. However, just as the gang leader was grinning with excitement, a group of robbers suddenly appeared. And even worse, they were armed with guns. The gang leader, seeing this, quickly opened fire. But how could he match their firepower? Seeing their fierce attack, he quickly prepared to retreat. But in his panic, he accidentally threw the treasure chest into the sea. Just at that moment, Hunter and his girlfriend surfaced from the water. The gang leader, seeing this, grabbed the girlfriend as a hostage. Without saying a word, he shoved her onto the plane. When the woman saw the treasure hidden in the seat, she immediately grabbed the biggest piece, and without hesitation, started smashing it over his head. But in the end, the woman was no match for the man. She was knocked unconscious by a single punch. As the gang leader was about to take off in the plane, Hunter immediately hopped onto his companion's speedboat to chase after him. At the crucial moment, Hunter made a desperate leap and grabbed onto the plane. The plane was already thousands of meters in the air. Seeing this, the gang leader quickly set the autopilot, then opened the cockpit door, and aimed his gun at Hunter. Just then, the woman suddenly regained consciousness. Seeing the gang leader about to shoot her boyfriend, the girlfriend quickly kicked her feet out, though the gang leader was successfully kicked into the sea. Before he died, he managed to shoot and hit the fuel tank. With the plane leaking fuel and about to crash, Hunter hurriedly climbed into the cockpit to take control of the direction. After Hunter's continuous efforts to control the plane, it finally crashed into the water. The whole plane sank to the bottom of the sea. Luckily, Hunter and his girlfriend survived. With the treasure they obtained, they opened a world-class renowned museum, where they placed all the treasures for visitors to pay and see.